Hey YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another video. Alright, in this video I want to talk about the signs and patterns of a colorist, light-skinned slash biracial female. And before I get into this video, I'll just give a quick disclaimer. Alright, if it don't apply, let it fly. If it don't apply, I'm not talking about you. Alright? We just want to get that clear, alright? So let's get into this, alright? Let's get into this. So one sign to look for, one sign slash pattern to look for is, when she refers to her skin tone, like, when she seems to almost want to remind people that she's light-skinned, that she has a light skin tone. Like, hey, I'm a bad red bone. Biracial cutie, or like some way somehow her skin tone or skin color, she seems to find a way to bring that up in a way almost to like subtly remind you that she's biracial or that she's light-skinned. That's something to look for. And these signs that I'm going to go through, by the way, they tend to be more subtle than overt. But if you really pay attention, you'll see them. All right. So the next thing, does it seem like she low-key expects to be uplifted purely based off of skin tone? And this, again, this is a subtle sign, but we kind of saw this in, like, with the singer Tina Shea. And by the way, I know how to pronounce her name. I'm just being shady, all right? I'm just being shady. But the singer Tina Shea, where it seemed like she kind of low-key expected to be on a Beyonce, Rihanna level because she's biracial. And she's like, well, being biracial is better than just being light-skinned. Like, light-skinned, but she's like actually biracial. So she kind of may feel like she's worth more, quote unquote. She's more valuable. But again, this one is a very subtle thing. It'll come out. Sometimes it will jump out like it did with Tina Shea. But, there's some more signs that you can look for. So let's get into the next sign. All right, the next sign to look for is her dating history. After all, colorist birds of a feather flock together. And to be fair, a person, a light-skinned biracial female can be colorist with many different groups of men. They can. But when it comes to biracial and light-skinned women in the black community, they tend to gravitate toward their partner in crime, who is the colorist dark-skinned man. Please note, I said the colorist dark-skinned man. All right. And of course, you can have two light-skinned people together and both be colorists. You can. But oftentimes I tend to see the matchup, like the matchup is between the colorist light-skinned woman and the colorist dark-skinned man. And also, she could be with like someone non-black, like a white man, and be colorist. But to me, I think she would be outside of the community if that was the, if that was the case. Like, she wouldn't be colorist dating white and still in the black community. She would just be over there with white folks. you know. But yeah, dating history, right? Dating a lot of dark-skinned men. And, to be fair, people are allowed to have preferences. And that is true. She is allowed, light-skinned biracial females are allowed to have preferences. All right. And as well, those, dark-skinned men could just be the men that try to holler at her, to be fair, because some light-skinned women just attract the dark-skinned dudes, and they can't help it. They can't help it. But these are signs to look for, though. They might not be the telltale sign, but, you know, it's like a sign and a pattern that goes on like the suspect list, like, that's a clue. Um, Another thing, since we're on dating history, does it seem like she maybe purposely maybe avoids men her skin tone? How does she feel about men who have her skin tone? Is she very negative when it comes to expressing her preferences, her dating preferences that don't include them? Like she's like, nah, I don't want to date no light, bright, and you know? Or, she's just like, hey, hey, I just have a preference, but, if you look good, you look good, something kind of PC like that, that'd be better. Also, does she co-sign, light-skinned male bashing? The light-skinned dude jokes? Does she co-sign that type of stuff? I'll let her get away with just being silent about it. But if she's like, you know, laughing or, joining in on it, that's something to look forward to, you know. It's like she's trying to ingratiate herself with her colorist, dark-skinned man, and that's a good way to do that. Because when it comes to like the darker skinned people, colorism tends to affect darker skinned people's self-esteem, while colorism tends to affect lighter skinned people's uh, sense of identity. So her gravitating toward the dark skinned man because she could feel like he is sort of like validating her identity, and she wants to ingratiate herself with him, so she would basically throw the light skinned dude under the bus, and that is like somewhat of an ego boost for the dark skinned man, because he would have the self-esteem issues, and seeing someone kind of put them above somebody else is kind of like a self-esteem boost, right? Let's be real. Another sign, and this is a major sign. This is a major sign here. All right. How does the light-skinned biracial female relate to the dark-skinned, brown-skinned, dark-skinned black woman? How is her relationship with the brown-skinned, dark-skinned black woman? Is it positive? Is it negative? Does she have animosity toward her? And she could be like, well, those dark-skinned girls gave me a hard time in grade school, and it's something that I just still hold against them, Or is she cool, Because me personally, I think that when it comes to these sort of like skin tone type situations, I feel like you either accept both or you reject both. You kind of, it's a package deal to me. It's like you gotta have to have, I come with like, well, you have to take both. You can't pick and choose. You can't like take one but leave the other or push the other one out, right? And sometimes I feel like that's low key at play when it comes to, some biracial light-skinned biracial women. It's like they want to take that dark-skinned man, but they want to push the dark-skinned woman out. Hey, nah, like, we good with that. We good with that. We don't need that here. Right? And the colorist, low self-esteem, dark-skinned dude is co-signing that. He's helping her. He's not saying, hey, like, he's not thinking in his mind, like, hey, that's a little strange that she kind of feels that way about dark-skinned women, you know, because I'm dark-skinned, I'm not a woman, but I'm dark-skinned, so it's like he's, because he's, high off colorism and low self-esteem, he ain't really thinking about how his identity relates to dark-skinned black women. He doesn't feel like an attack on dark-skinned black women is an attack on him. You notice how like other groups of men tend to feel like when their women are attacked or criticized or ridiculed, something like that, they tend to take it as an attack on them. Notice that. I mean, honestly, if like let's say like, uh, you know, some celebrities, some dark-skinned male celebrities came out, one after the other, just bashing light-skinned biracial women, bashing them, kind of like how they do dark-skinned women, like just switch the roles up, right? Instead of it being a dark-skinned woman, it's a light-skinned biracial woman. Bashing, straight up bashing. We know this ain't no joke. They going in, right? That would shake a lot of people up. Honestly, that would shake up even the light-skinned dudes and the biracial dudes, and they would feel some type of a way about that. I really think they would. And I really think they would go to bat for the biracial female or the light-skinned female. Just as other groups of men would kind of react like that, because they feel like it's an attack not only on their women, but an attack on them, right? Because they are smart enough to know like they're kind of like connected, right? They're connected. You know? Also, to bring this back to the dark-skinned, brown-skinned women, um, does the light-skinned woman co-sign? Like, does she speak out if she hears something colorist? Does she co-sign it? Colorist against dark-skinned women. Does she co-sign that? Does she speak out against it? It's something to look for. And here's the last reason. All right. Or not the last reason, but the next reason. I guess last or next. Whatever. How does she want her kids to look? Is that a big deal for her? Because sometimes these light-skinned biracial women get with very dark-skinned men, and they don't want their kids to look like these dark-skinned men. They want their kids to look like themselves, which is just really strange. Like, how do you even process that and make that make sense in your mind? That's why I say, like, colorism is one hell of a drug. It really is. People are high off colorism. I remember a YouTube user, who has commented on some videos that I posted here and there. He posted a comment that really relates to this. I want to read this comment to you, right? And he says, my mother is a perfect example of this. She told me that she didn't want dark kids with nappy hair, quote unquote nappy hair. I asked her, then why date a dark-skinned man? And she couldn't give me a reason. And his dad is dark-skinned and his mom is light-skinned, and he is light-skinned himself. And this is what his mom said to him. Then he goes on to say, the other day, she told me she was happy I came out looking like her side of the family because his dad's side of the family is ugly. All right. And she said this to her own child. Now, what if her child came out looking like his father's side of the family? How would she treat treat the child? And that's something to think about too. Colorist people, I don't even think they have love for their colorist counterpart. Like, I don't even think, like, these colorist light-skinned females, I don't even think they have love for their colorist dark-skinned male counterpart. And these dark-skinned dudes, I don't even think they have love, real true love for their colorist light-skinned female counterpart, or, you know, their partner in crime. You know? But, you know, colorist people deserve to be together. But I feel bad for the kids. You know, I really feel bad for the kids who have to endure their parents' colorism and be brainwashed by their parents' colorism and be scarred by their parents' colorism. And oh yeah, I forgot to mention the last part of his comment. And he said that colorist people deserve their own place in hell. You think so? You think that it should be a section in hell just for colorist folks? That's something to think about. And also, one more thing I guess I can mention. Does she support, I guess, colorist folk in the media? You know, like, is she like a big Lil Wayne fan? You know, or is she always talking about how awesome Kevin Hart's comedy routine is, especially his dark-skinned women jokes or something? You know, something to think about. But I'm going on for long enough, though. Thanks for watching, you guys. Feel free to comment. Feel free to scratch the subscription button. Feel free to comment and give your feedback. Thank you very much. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.